but we have a corrupt judge, and we have a judge who's highly conflicted, and he's keeping me from campaigning. He's an appointed New York judge. He's appointed. You know who appointed him? Democrat politicians. He's appointed. He's a corrupt judge, and he's a conflicted judge, and he ought to let us go out and campaign and get rid of this scam. Every single legal analyst, even CNN, even MSDNC, they're saying there's no case here.
Can you believe that this man, this whiny, insecure, and angry person was once the president of the United States? And if you think he was different when he was president behind the scenes, then you're mistaken, because this is who he is. Somebody who has always operated in their own lane with no regard for the law. And somebody who claims to be a patriot, but clearly doesn't care for the system of justice or the checks and balances designed to support it. Donald Trump moaning and complaining that the judge is conflicted, and then claiming that he is an appointed judge. And he keeps repeating this. He was appointed. He was appointed. Well, yeah, as we know, in this country, judges are appointed. Hopefully, judges should be able to operate away from politics, as we know, in the case of Florida's own Eileen Cannon. She seems unable to do that and is helping Trump out by kicking that case, the stolen documents case, into the long grass. But here is an example of how Donald Trump ultimately believes that appointed judges should be protecting their own. And that's why he is projecting that in this case, Judge Juan Merchan is protecting Joe Biden and therefore has a vendetta against Donald Trump because he claims that Joe Biden, or the Democrats in this case, appointed him. Now, none of this is true. None of it. Not even a tiny little bit. But the projection that Trump is doing here just exposes his corrupt mindset when it comes to the judiciary, when it comes to the Supreme Court. As we know, Trump's 3 appointees on the Supreme Court are supporting hearing the argument of his immunity, something that should never have even gone to the Supreme Court, because it simply suggests that, Trump is suggesting that presidents should be immune from prosecution whilst they are president, which in itself is just utterly ridiculous. And so this is just an expose, isn't it? This is Donald Trump exposing who he really is and what he feels about how appointed judges should be protecting those who appointed them. Not the case with Judge Juan Merchan, and certainly not the case, hopefully, with most judges in the US. The judiciary is designed and supposed to operate independently, but, as time goes on, we've certainly seen it with Clarence Thomas on the Supreme Court. But in this case, there is so much evidence against Donald Trump. And then, of course, there's the issue of the ledger and Trump publicly admitting this was put down as a legal expense, referring to the $130,000 paid to Stormy Daniels. He's basically admitting the crime on camera multiple times, despite not wanting to give evidence in the trial, just likes to do it for the cameras after his day in court, where he spends much of the time sleeping. And today was given some pictures of crowds at his rallies so he could look at it and feel good about himself and keep him awake. I mean, that's the tragedy of this, isn't it? That, we heard those rumors when Trump was president that the presidential daily briefing, that kind of national security briefing, was dumbed down from a document to a single page, and that they had to write Trump's name in each paragraph in order to keep his attention and to force him to read it. And, we all thought, well, I really hope that's not the case. Well, here is proof that it absolutely was, that Donald Trump cannot pay any attention to anything that doesn't involve him. And here he's been given these printouts. As we know, he has this person that follows him around with a portable wireless printer who prints articles, normally from right-wing media, and in this case, maybe pictures of crowd size to make him feel good about the rally that took place this last weekend, and he's complaining that the judge won't let him go out and campaign, and he's keeping him in the courtroom because he's trying to prevent him from campaigning, which is, of course, completely untrue. Trump gets Wednesdays off and weekends off and Passover off, and he didn't choose any of those days to go campaign. In fact, he was holed up in Mar-a-Lago or playing golf. And so, again, it's him rewriting the narrative so that it plays well on Fox News. And then he claims that scholars and legal experts have looked at this case, and he holds up the papers. Of course, these are the printouts that he has given that are favorable articles about him, normally from right-wing or far-right news networks. And he kind of waves them. It's not evidence, of course, it's not factual, but he waves them and says that all of these legal experts say that this isn't a case, and there's no case here, and there's nothing here. And then he lies about CNN and MSNBC and claims that they have said it too, which is completely untrue. But as you know, this man has no interest in the truth. He knows that as this court is not televised, he can come out afterwards and rewrite the story of what went on inside. And sadly, the news networks, they take it and they replay it, and the people that are his supporters, they see it and they share it, and then they just feel again that this justice system is corrupt when it isn't. And Donald Trump may have run his Justice Department as if it was an extension of his own personal legal team. But Joe Biden does not do that. He is separate. And trust me, if Joe Biden in any way wanted to do anything bad to Donald Trump legally for political purposes, he would have got a better attorney general than Merrick Garland. It has taken way too long to hold Donald Trump to account. By the looks of things, with the classified documents case out of the way for now, and Jack Smith waiting patiently to take his case to Judge Tanya Chutkan's court for Donald Trump trying to overturn the election and January 6th, the coup, the insurrection and everything that went with it, and to stand here and complain about it is just another opportunity for him to try and discredit Joe Biden, to discredit the Justice Department, and in the process, that damages democracy. This is what a dictatorship looks like. It is somebody who has no respect for the system of governance, and that all of the protections that keep us safe, the judiciary is one of them.
He's a corrupt judge, and he's a conflicted judge, and he ought to let us go out and campaign and get rid of this scam.
But the First Amendment affords him the opportunity to criticize the judge and to claim that it's a kangaroo court and to be critical of the justice system and to blame Joe Biden, even though it is factually incorrect.
There's no case here. Thank you very much.
He knows that when he says it, he can get away with it. He knows that if he repeats it enough times, then eventually it might sink into everybody's psyche. And that is what's so sad, is that this man is publicly defacing U.S. democracy. And he's not shy about it. He's telling you who he is, how corrupt he is, and how he has no respect for the law. And ultimately, look, Republicans elected a criminal in 2016, and this is the result. I'm Anthony Davis. You can catch me on the 5-Minute News channel, also on Wednesdays co-hosting Uncovered, and on Sunday on The Weekend Show with MeidasTouch.
On the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.